Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 30 NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Insomniac Games confirms who's the main Spider-Man is going forward. Before I get to this article, if you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. We do these Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. So if you're watching this after the fact, maybe we're live right now talking about another conversation. But we talk to the live chat. So again, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you become a member as little as $5. We do lots of different content on this. We do uploads, we do live gameplay, we do podcasts, and we do a live show, like I said. So make sure you come on by, hang out with us. All right, so Insomniac Games confirms who is the main Spider-Man is. Now, this article comes from The Gamer. Insomniac Games has clarified who the main Spider-Man is in the universe is following the events of Spider-Man 2. So Insomniac Games has confirmed which of the two Spider-Men is the main Spidey moving forward following the events of the end of Spider-Man 2. As is the case with most Marvel properties nowadays, the ending of Spider-Man 2 sets up many things in the future. I haven't seen it. I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm just reading the article for the first time, so I don't know if it's going to go into spoiler territory, just letting you guys know. And leaves us with just as many questions as it did to answer. Now, one of the main things answered in the final hours is which Spider-Man is mainly going to be taking charge and protecting New York City. Something that Insomniac Games has now given us more details on. Spoilers for the final hours of Spider-Man 2 to follow. So here you go. They're going to say some spoilers. So if you're watching this live, you don't want to hear the spoilers because maybe you haven't beat the game yet or whatnot. We're just reading the news here, so heads up. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so we'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. After struggling with the identity because of the symbiote influence, most of the game, Spider-Man 2 ends with Peter Parker taking a step back from the mask and focusing on building up Emily May's foundation. This leaves Miles Morales as New York's only Spider-Man for a while, which is confirmed as he swings off and saves the day while Peter remains in the house of MJ. Now, although this was pretty concrete ending that made it fairly clear that Peter Parker was going to be taking a back seat and finally getting on with one of his own life's potential future Spider-Man games. Spider-Man 2's narrative director, Ben Arfman, has advanced writer Brittany Morris have expanded on the ending more in the recent interview with Gizmodo. Now, when we asked, the team always knew that we always wanted to have Miles become the main Spider-Man at the end of the game. Morris confirmed that it is now he's been viewed saying it always felt very natural, and I think it's always collective thought it would happen. To me, it shows a great deal of evolution for Miles at the beginning of the game, and we see him struggling to figure out what he wants to do with his life. By the end, we had Miles carrying out the burden of saving the city and also carrying Pete, and Pete wasn't strong enough to carry himself in various points. That being said, just because Miles is being considered the main Spider-Man going forward, that doesn't mean that Peter Parker isn't ever going to suit up again and suddenly ditch his responsibilities. His conversations make it clear that he's taking a break for a moment and sort of his own life out. But it's likely ditching it into suit entirely. So Spider-Man 2 also sets up many different plot lines that relate directly to Peter, such as the chameleon promising him to take down in memory of Craven, so it seems very unlikely that the properly seen the last Peter Parker Spider-Man in Insomniac's universe. So here's the thing, right? Hot take. I know this is interesting here, right? So I like Miles Morales, right? So I've seen the movies. I think he's interesting. I've never read the comics, okay? Now, we do know that Miles Morales was made because when President Obama was in office, they're like, oh, this would be good, and they made Miles Morales. This is facts about why they made Miles Morales. I think also they also want someone else other than Spider-Man, right? Because Spider-Man in the Marvel realm, they sold off Spider-Man to Sony. So Sony owned Spider-Man, and they had to come up with another Spider-Man, right? So they had this other one, which is now the main one in Insomniac going forward. I think this is a bad decision, not because what everyone thinks is because, well, it's because he's black and that's why you don't like him. No, that's not why I think it's a bad idea. Why I think it's a bad idea is Spider-Man is one of the most well-known superheroes in the world, right? This is why every single film, okay, that he's ever been in has grossed over $600-700 million, up to $2 billion almost, because that's how popular Spider-Man is. He is the most popular Marvel superhero ever. Okay, now you bring in Miles Morales. Just going based off of the information that we know of this, Spider-Man 1 in 2018 has gone on to sell something along the lines, I think it was like 22 million or 24 million, something like that, by itself. It might be a little bit more than that. We know that Miles Morales only sold 6.5 million, okay, which is almost 1/3 of the sales of Spider-Man from 2018, right? And the reason it sold is because a lot of people bought it with the remastered edition, where it came along with Spider-Man the original and Miles Morales. So those sales got fluffed up as well. So Miles Morales didn't really sell well. The first Spider-Verse movie, okay, that came out a couple years ago, very successful. I believe only sold, and let's look, we'll look it up so you guys know, right? Box Office Mojo. Let's go that live here, and we'll check it out. In 2018, remind you now, when Spider-Man came out in 2018, the video game, okay, it sold ridiculous amounts. This sold and made 384 million. Not taking anything away from Miles Morales, but it only made 384 million. Now, if we look at the other Spider-Man, okay, if we look at other, let's open up Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2 down here, Spider-Man Far From Home, Homecoming, No Way Home, and then we'll do Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, which came out this past year, right? So let's look at these numbers, right? So we have Spider-Man 2002 made 825 million. With inflation, that's over $1 billion. Then we have Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2014 made 708 million. Okay. Then we have Spider-Man 2012 that made 757 million. Then we have Spider-Man 3 2007, which is one of the worst ones. Okay. It almost made 900 million worldwide. Then we have Spider-Man 2 from 2004 made 788 million. Right. Inflation, that's over $1 billion. Right. Then we have Spider-Man Far From Home made 1.1 billion. Then we have Spider-Man Homecoming 2017 made 880 million. And then we have Spider-Man No Way Home 2021 made 1.9 billion. Okay. And then we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which made 690 million, which is fantastic. But do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. The first movie that came out barely, well, not barely, just short of 400 million. This movie, 690 million, fantastic. Okay, but it's not selling as well as any other Spider-Man film ever to come out. Okay, and then the video game. You go from 24 million copies sold to 6.5 million copies sold. And now, obviously, Spider-Man 2, we don't know the full sales numbers yet, but Miles is in it. So Peter and Miles are in it. So that's combined, right? And I think this is one of the reasons they did this, because Marvel, in general, likes to push replacements for other people. Now, Insomniac is choosing, again, I haven't played Spider-Man 2. The story sounds like this is, it makes sense why they're doing what they're doing, but I think this is a dumb decision because Miles Morales, facts are, does not sell as well as Peter Parker Spider-Man, okay? So this is a bad choice in my opinion, and we'll see what happens when they come out with Miles Morales 2 or they come out with Spider-Man 3, whatever it does. It's going to sell well for PlayStation, 3-5 million copies sold in the long run. But I think it's a mistake because not many people are interested in Miles Morales. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.